Greetings, Vault citizens. Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to the top 10 tips and tricks number 2. If you guys have not seen number 1, go check that out. There'll be a link down in the description below. It has been greatly received, so that has inspired me to make a part 2, and hopefully you will find some of these tips just as useful as the first video. So stay tuned and let's check them out. Alright guys, tip number 1, we're going to be talking about resource map and base building strategies. I will have a link down in the description below, but this is a very important resource map. It'll show you all the different resources in the game. You can actually just run up to these and harvest them. So if you're, say, looking for junk, you can run from node to node to node to node, just picking junk. But what's even better is you can plant resource harvesters, and that's that loud clunky thing that you hear in the background chugging away, getting me junk. I find junk is the most valuable because not only will it give you all these things, but it'll also give you nuts and bolts, screws, springs, all those different things that seem a little bit more rare. So what I want to get into is picking a strategic location for building your base. Now, my hot spots and suggestions would be areas that are both by water and have a junk resource. That way you can actually get purified waters in the water, like industrial purifiers, and also harvest junk. I'll bring up my base on screen right now. So here we are at the map. You can see where I am. I ran around for about an hour or two trying to find the perfect spot, and for me this was the perfect spot. You can see why this junk brings in, I get all sorts of junk every hour every time I come back to this, but it also has a pond, so I can collect dirty water here. I was able to fit 5 industrial water purifiers. These will stack to a max of 5 water. So you get 25 water every time you come back to the base. And you can do that, I think, every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes I get 25 purified water. That is amazing for crafting. And every hour this thing will just be packed full of junk. There's enough room for harvesting. So again, on the map, here is my spot if you want to copy it and check it out for yourself. And another tip while we're talking about bases is build limit. So if you see my storage, my budget in the top right hand corner, one thing about my base, how I was able to build a whole house, tons of lights, a whack ton of crops for making adhesive and making razor grain soup, and this many extractors plus fertilizer. I was able to do that by not building turrets. Turrets will chew up about 10 or 20% of your overall budget. So I highly recommend not building turrets and trying to choose a peaceful location. It'll allow you to maximize your build. So choose your location wisely. I highly recommend building on a junk extractor. And if you guys are wondering how this works, as long as you have a junk platform somewhere, it'll snap to it and it'll show up in your resources. Normally you will not have the junk extractor in your resources, not until you place your camp, the actual camp thing, down in an area that has a junk collector. If you so happen to build near a concrete collector, you will notice there would be a concrete extractor that shows up. You do not need plans for these extractors. You simply just need to build in a location that has a pile. Once you have done that, this will show up under your resources. All right, everybody, for our second tip, we're going to be talking about workshops. There's some extra things that I want to offer in this guide here that'll extend your workshop knowledge. And if you don't know anything about them, you're going to learn a lot here. All right, so here we go. There is a workshop guide online which will teach you all about workshops. What's important here is this. So I'll have a link to this, a link down in the description below. Whatever you're looking for. So right now I am in the need of, I think it's screws and springs, and that stuff comes from junk. And as you can see here, the Charleston landfill will give me 3 junk, and it'll also give me some copper and aluminum and some steel. If you're looking to get some steel, the best place to go is Grafton Steel. If you're looking to get some oil, the best place to go is Beckley Mine. So whatever you're looking for, you want to go take over the specific workshop that's going to give you the most benefits. And honestly, this is the first thing you should do when you log into the game, because if you start collecting all these things, you're going to be getting a certain amount of resources per hour, and you can fast travel to them. So let's jump back to game. So how do you take a workshop? Well, first of all, you got to figure out where they are. So the Charleston landfill that I'm looking to take for that extra junk, I get water, food, junk, copper, aluminum, and steel, and it is located right here. You will find workshops all over the world. And as a bonus tip, if you take the power plant right here, Poseidon Energy Plant Yard, it'll actually power up all the workshops in this whole quadrant of the map. There's 3 power plants in the map total. I think another one is located up here, right here. So if you power up the power plant, you no longer have to build generators at the workshops, which is huge. So you'll power up all the workshops nearby and you'll save yourself some resources. So when you find the workshop that you want to take, you simply run up to the workshop and you activate it. Claiming the workshop will take 25 caps and initiate PvP. So something to keep in mind there. It's always good to travel with a group. So we just wait for this to go up. Now, as a bonus, guys, when you claim these workshops and successfully defend them, you get a bunch of unique plans. So it's worth going around the whole world and claiming every single workshop, because you're going to get a whole bunch of plans. Look at that. Plan portable toilet. Yay. I don't know if it's randomized. I don't know if it's specific, but I've been getting a whole bunch of plans by just claiming workshops. Now, once you've actually built it, there will be a defense phase, and you will have to defend it. But you can see here we have a aluminum deposit. So if we go into workshop mode here, when we go over to resources, you will have all the different extractors that you need. So we can plop that guy down, and it's gonna require 10 power. Unfortunately for me, I do not have the big power generator, which is useful. You power it up and that one starts to work. Looks like there's also a water purifier here that I could power that up if I want. But what we're going to be looking for is the junk pile. We can harvest the junk. We can slap that on there, and now we're getting junk. It's good to check around. There might be a couple more. It did say 3. There's another junk. Oh, and another little tip, while you're in workshop mode, you can actually scrap stuff. You can run around and certain things can be scrapped, if you can see that, and you can get some extra materials. Check that out, just like in Fallout 4. Oh, that one's not letting me scrap it for some reason. You can remove trucks. Certain things you can actually scrap. Look at that. I'm getting materials for scrapping these things. Pretty cool. So you could kind of scrap things like you would in Fallout 4 and get some extra materials while you're at it. And there's our 3rd junk extractor. I have 3 junk extractors going. So as I showed on the map there, or on the guide, the online guide, it did say 3 junk. That means 3 junk piles to confirm that. So now what happens is you have to do the defense wave. Now, as a bonus, depending on where you built your workshop, it depends on what kind of enemies you will defend from. For example, I was defending Grafton Steel up here, and I was getting attacked by anglers, and anglers will drop adhesive. So defending your workshops will also get you resources, EXP, and other goodies. Now, the fun thing about taking over these is you can actually build defenses because you're not concerned about your budget. So I could place a couple turrets down. Really, all I want to do is place them around the junk extractors, because those are the ones I really am interested about. And if you're worried about other players taking your workshop, probably doesn't hurt to throw a couple turrets over here as well and have some friends in your party. And one more tip for you guys, if you're really paranoid about someone coming up and stealing from your extractors, let's just go over to the junk one. If you go in here, you can use, if you look at the bottom left of the menu, I can actually lock this with a level 3 lockpick. So anyone that comes up to this is going to require a level 3 lockpick to get to the goods on the inside, and if they do lockpick it, they become a wanted criminal. Now, it's going to take some screws to create those keys, which I don't want to lock all of them. I honestly don't really care. People seem to be pretty civil in this game, and if they're going to take anything, they're going to take the whole workshop, and I'm going to have to come back here with my friends and blast them. There we go. We have completed the defense wave, and now the workshop is officially ours. You will only have to defend it every hour and a half or so. And it's usually, depending on where you are, it's probably going to be another wave of ghouls in this location. But we get some rewards for that, and all of our extractors are working. Look at, I already got some steel in the time of just defending it. Pretty good. So I'll probably come back here in an hour. Those extractors will be fully stocked with all the junk that I need. So I can fast travel it to it for free. So now what I'm probably going to do is go take Grafton Steel up north. And this is why it's so important to take this stuff the moment you log in, because now if there's any events up here, as there are, I want to go do these events. If I owned Grafton Steel, I'd be able to fast travel to it for free, hit up that event, go hit up that event, and then if there's anything down here, such as an event right here, or anything that I want to go do in the bottom half of the map, I can fast travel to my landfill for free. So what you're doing is you're creating checkpoints all around the map for yourself. All right, guys, tip number 3. While it's a quick tip, it's actually one I was completely oblivious about, and that is loot perks such as Butcher's Bounty, 40% chance to find extra meat when you search an animal's corpse. Same with Pharma when you search a chem container, and then there's some other ones such as the ammo, can do, everything but green thumb. Reap twice as much when you harvest flora. So, for example, if we kill this cow, we get meat. But if I now hit Y to search, and I think on keyboard it's spacebar, nothing happened. It has a chance of proccing. Kill another cow, hit search, nothing happened. So hopefully we can get, it's a 40% chance, so hopefully we get it off this one. Boom, it procced. You hear the sound effect, you get Brahmin meat. Now if I can find a chem container around here, to increase our chances, I'm going to put on a 3-star here. So we have an 80% chance to search this container, and we didn't get anything. The 1 in 5 chance. Are you kidding me? Oh, server lag. There we go. We got a stim pack. So it's a small tip, guys, but it's something that I wasn't aware of for like my first 10 hours of gameplay, and then my friend pointed out, he goes, are you actually searching the things that you have perk cards for? My next tip, we're going to be talking about materials. Great places to find certain materials don't always need to come from things like workshops. They can come from locations, great locations. So one good location is the Charleston Fire Department. Any gym in the game, I think the universities have some gyms up in Morgantown, Vault-Tec University. Any place that has a gym, you're going to find a ton of heavy lead. Charleston Fire Department, I came here, it looks like it's already been cleared out, but this room usually has a bunch of lead and weights kicking about, so people like to come here and clean it out for the lead, and you could do the server hopping trick. The next spot I want to show you on the map here is the Watauga High School. It's this big red building here, and you will get plastic from here. Plastic is good for bulk wrapping items, and you can sell bulk to vendors. Once you get into the high school, I believe you make your way left and head down through here all the way to the back. You're going to be looking for the cafeteria. Here it is. Sorry, it's at the back right. Once you get into the cafeteria, you will find an infinite surplus of plastic forks, plates. You can find even dinner trays, but the amount of plastic, I did a separate video on this. I think you get about 150 plastic per run, and it is absolutely everywhere. Plastic is also useful for creating energy cells. So if you're an energy weapon user, you're going to need loads of plastic. So this is definitely your go-to clear out spot. Don't forget to check this area out here where all the tables are, the seating area. This is where you're really going to cash in, all these tables. And don't forget to check the floors as well. And here's the upper level. You'll find a whole bunch more seating areas. And there you guys go. You should come out with about 150 plastic. Pretty awesome. The next spot you're going to want to check out is Camp McClintock. Here it is on the map. Here you will be getting lots of clipboards for springs and military bags for ballistic fiber. You'll come out with a lot of, there we go. We just picked one up there for ballistic fiber, those little tiny military bags. The clipboards give you springs, and I am on the hunt for springs right now. So look at all this, all these clipboards, amazing. More clipboards, amazing. More clipboards, it's so good. So this is a great location to come clear out. for extra junk. Look at that military bag. And the ballistic fiber is super rare, one of the harder materials in the game to get. Ballistic fiber is used to repair armor and create weapons. So if we go here, the military bag, we scrap one of those into 2 ballistic fiber. All right, we're over at the barracks here, and there's some more inside here. If you head on over to this little area down south, there are some more that can be found scattered about here as well. One spot I want to show you guys for food before we go to the next one is this area right here, the Silva Homestead. You will get so much corn and razor grain. You'll have so much food. If you have Green Thumb equipped, you're going to get twice as much. This will be enough food for you and all your friends. And the nice thing about corn soup and razor grain soup is it quenches your thirst and feeds you simultaneously. And if you pick this whole field, you will acquire about 200 corn, I believe, and about 200 razor grain. And this farm here, you can actually take it over. It's a workshop, so that's a bonus. You'll get tons of food for having this workshop. So you might as well grab that while you're here. But this is where you get to the razor grain farm, and you can see the copper deposits for the workshop. So this is the razor grain field. Boom. It's right above the workshop. And you'll get about 150, 200 razor grain from picking this field. And to top it off, if you want to know, this whole area is covered in mute fruit. You will get about 100 mute fruit right outside of Mama Dulce's. You got to kind of work your way around the edges where all the bushes are, head down these paths and up and around. Another great spot for just a lot of different crops is the Cobbleton Farm up north, and then there's another great farm right outside the backside of the General Steakhouse right here. There's a huge crop field right out back. So that's great locations for food. All right, the next location I want to show you is for wood. It's at the Sylvie and Sons logging camp, which is also why my camp is here. It's a great location to get that wood. So I can literally fast travel here for 2 caps. You run up the hill to the logging camp. Don't forget to throw on your woodchucker, collect twice as much wood when harvesting wood, and you will get so much wood here. I think you'll come out with about 300 if you do this with woodchucker. And if you really want to get the benefits of this, bring 2 or 3 friends, because each one of these every player can actually harvest individually. Each player will get 300 wood, and then you could just ask your friends, hey, can I have your wood? That didn't sound right. All right, guys, so that's a lot of different materials for you to think about and get. And to end off this section of the tip, I also want to mention you can farm Deathclaws for gears, you can farm Yaoguai for springs, and you can find them in the Dolly Sods location. You can find adhesive from anglers. These different types of enemies will, in fact, attack various camps if you own them, such as the Yaoguais and the anglers. So you can get a whole bunch of springs and adhesive by simply having a bunch of workshops. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, this next tip is actually going to be a quick tip, and I want to give a shout out to a YouTube subscriber named Hyper, who left this down in the comments of my last tips and tricks. This is really a low level tip. If you run into power armor in the field like this and you go up to it, you see, you know, it has a level 50 helmet on there or level 40 legs like the T60 armor, and you want to collect it, but it's going to weigh you down. It's going to weigh you down 14 pounds. The whole set, if you collected the whole T60 set, is going to weigh you down about 100 pounds. But having it on the power armor frame and collecting that frame is only going to weigh 10 pounds. You won't be able to actually get inside of the power armor or do anything with it because you're going to be too low level. So what you can do is you collect all the different T60 legs and stuff. So I'd be dropping my frame, which I am able to carry. We're going to transfer, and let's just pretend for a second that I am a low-level player. We throw our various pieces of power armor on there, and we're not going to be able to collect it. After 60 seconds, it will automatically return your power armor chassis to your inventory. So you literally just walk away, and you'll get that whole thing back, and it'll only weigh you down 10 pounds. So this is a great tip for players who want to collect all the different power armors before hitting level 40 plus. All right, everybody, the next tip I want to show you goes to perks sharing and specifically Rad Sponge. So if you guys didn't know this, you can share your perk cards with your friends, and the way it works is I think it's 3 charisma for every rank. So in order to share a rank 3 Rad Sponge with my team, I'm going to need the minimum of 9 charisma. So now if I hit share, I share this perk card amongst all my friends. And what I like to do on a team is I'll share Team Medic and have someone else share Rad Sponge and have someone else share, you know, Squad Maneuvers or Field Surgeon, and everybody on the team is going to be able to heal each other more effectively, and also cure radiation. This one here that is so freaking brilliant, when affected by rads, you periodically heal 200 rads on nearby teammates, and every teammate has that. The periodic chance is times 4, and you're going to heal for 200 rads. Now I'm going to pull up some footage here and show you guys an example of a full party of people standing in some radiation to show you how effective this is. And you will basically never need Rad X or Rad Away ever again. Well, oh my god. Stay close to me. Look at my rads.
Yeah, it also works on my...
This is chewing me up. I might need a little bit of Rad X. Might not be able to survive a blast zone without power armor. I don't have any good power armor on me. This power armor is gonna do nothing for me, is it? I'm missing like a leg and a chest. But you guys are nicely topped off. You guys are topped off on rads.
I had to.
There we go. There we go. You see how many times it just procced there?
Yeah, it constantly spams on my screen, by the way.
It just procced again.
Yeah, you can't survive a rad storm without power armor, but I'm wearing half power armor. I have legs, a helm, and an arm. And I'm not taking any rads. Neither are you guys. No one's taking rads. No red bars. That's pretty sick, right? Because you guys don't have to ever use Rad X, Rad Away, and all it costs is three perk cards from me. 3 perk points.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it goes really well with the medic build, right? If that's, my point is to heal my team, and I'm essentially healing all your rads. You can see how often that's proccing.
And that's passive healing.
Yes, exactly. It's automatic. So there's Rad Sponge, pretty effective, right?
I think Rad Sponge is pretty, very effective, especially in an area like this. Even with just a little bit of freaking power armor.
Yeah. Yep. You could just have a frame pretty much, and you'd be good to go. Frame and a helmet. All right, guys, the next tip I want to go over, another perk card tip, and that's going to be Luck of the Draw. Kind of goes hand in hand with the last tip I just gave with sharing perks. See, I could share Luck of the Draw, and in the Luck, there's also one called Lucky Break, which is the exact same, but for armor. So there's a chance you will greatly repair your weapon when hitting an enemy, and there's one for armor as well. So that's a good card to share, but I really want to explain how it works, because there's been a lot of controversy online about people saying, you know, it's crap, or some people say it's really good. There's been some varied results. So it says chance your weapon will greatly repair itself when hitting an enemy. Now, that's actually not quite good wording. It will repair itself, so I'm gonna shoot this guy's house and pretend it's an enemy, okay? If I shoot and the bullet lands, there is a chance that that one will repair my weapon. But let's just say this is an automatic weapon. Here we go. So I hold the trigger down. How many bullets was that? 12 shots. That is not gonna have 12 chances of proccing. It's only gonna have 1 chance of proccing, because I only pulled the trigger once. So it's 1 time per bullet per trigger fire. So if I'm using an automatic weapon and I want it to proc, if I hold it down, that's only 1 chance of a proc. So you're gonna notice your weapon is breaking much faster on automatic weapons, and it might not be proccing as often. So what you wanna do with automatic weapons is tap fire, tap fire, tap fire. And then you'll start seeing it proc, and now I get ambushed by dogs. So if I just hold it down like this, see, it procced there. My weapon repaired itself. So what I want to do is I want to kind of rapid fire. or tap fire. Tap fire is the way to go, and you're gonna see more procs than you would holding it down. Proc there. So the weapon is in fact repairing itself. But see, it wouldn't have proc there because I held it down. But tap fire, tap fire, tap fire. More chances of it procking. So my theory with this card at first was it's going to be better with automatic weapons, when in fact it's not better. Where it shines the most is rifles like this, because you can tap, 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 and your whole clip, every single bullet has a chance of repairing itself. Now, obviously, you can combo that with something from intelligence, such as Gunsmith. Guns break 50% slower, and then they're also repairing themselves. And if you want the equivalent for armor, there is White Knight in agility. I don't have it, but it also makes it so your armor breaks 90% slower. You pair that with Lucky Break, and your armor will never, ever, ever, ever break again. Pretty awesome. All right, this next tip, guys, it's a pretty small one for camp building stuff, but I wanted to throw it in there anyways because it's a new feature with the last December 11th update. So if I take anything and I want to move it, it can now bulldoze items in its way. So if you didn't know about this, it's just a handy thing that's been recently implemented, and it's supposed to work on trees, but I guess these trees are so big they actually count as terrain. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed with this feature in terms of a discussion video, because I thought you were going to be able to scrap items. That's what they said, bulldoze. It's the bulldoze feature, and that's what bulldozing is. I'm able to basically place something over top of something and it disappears. So if I place it there, it didn't even work. Wow. There we go. If I move it, the items should technically reappear. And they didn't. So it doesn't work as intended. Well, there you go. That's a tip in of itself. I used it to clear an object out. Now, because it's water, my base doesn't have enough things to bulldoze. There's a rock. If I move it, the rock is gone. So that's a way to clear out stuff. I kind of wish it was go up to it and scrap it like in Fallout 4, but that is what it is. A small little tip there for you guys. Another small little tip here, customizing your emote wheel. I didn't actually realize you could customize this, but that's because I didn't have much in terms of emotes, and I recently unlocked a new one. But if you're buying emotes, it's something to consider, like such as the holiday emote bundle that you can unlock. If you look at this, it gives you a whole different wheel of options, but those positions are very important to note. Like, let's just say you wanted to equip a few of these, like the gingerbread man in the north and the people, the vault people in the south. You can't actually choose where you want things to go on the emote wheel. They are categorized, and I did not know this. So like I said, that one, the gingerbread one, you would have to replace thumbs up. That party one, you would have to replace thumbs down. So I unlocked this one recently, photo mode, and I use, if you guys watch my videos, you notice I use photo mode a shit ton. So you'll see in the bottom, it says expand, but expand doesn't work on any of these except for this one, because I recently unlocked a new one. The photo mode icon replaces team up. So I can no longer use the team up emote. I can, but it's finicky as crap. It's super finicky. And now that's back on my wheel, but it's so hard to access. It's not very intuitive and not very fast. So it's super glitchy. So you're kind of picking from a category, but you're replacing something you might like more. If we go back to the Atom shop there, dinner time unlocks an emote option, but it doesn't say for what category. So that is something to keep in mind, guys, because you don't know where it's going. I would imagine Let's Cook, Dying of Thirst, So Hungry would all fall under the same category. But what base category is that? I'm going to guess it's maybe miscellaneous. So is this a tip? I don't know. It's a tip in be wary what you're buying from the item shop. And when you do buy it, well, there's your tip. That's how you equip it. But if you buy that holiday emote wheel, you're replacing everything here. And if you want to say you want to keep the trade thing, well, you'd be sacrificing that Santa Claus pointing finger thing. See, that makes sense? So depending on what you see is good here, you have to decide on what you're going to be giving up. A lot of these aren't worth buying because you don't know where they're going to go. Alrighty, everybody, the last tip I have for you today, if we go to level up, if you are level 50 plus, you can pick a perk or move a point, also known as respec. While a lot of people might be aware of this tip, it was patched in the December 11th patch notes, so it might be new to some of you, especially if you are under level 50 or new to the game, just picking it up. Don't worry, you can eventually respec your character. Now you get to move a single point or choose a perk card. So for my character here, I am wanting to move points out of perception. So I actually haven't done this yet. We're going to figure this out together. Select a special to swap a point. Perception, we want -1. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to move it over to luck. Boom, and there it goes, just like that. So a very simple tip to end the video off. I wanted to just showcase it because it was new with the patch. I also wanted to try it out and, you know, talk about it for a sec because it is pretty good. You can slowly shift your, you know, correct your mistakes along the way. Like perception, I really don't feel like I needed Grenadier. I love my grenades. If you guys have seen my compilations, I love blowing stuff up, but honestly, in terms of a medic build, I'm better off moving stuff over to luck. There's just a lot of good stuff in luck, and I want to be able to fit room for my starch genes as I start buying mutations. And hey, that's another bonus tip, everybody. Once you have done the Enclave quest line, which I have a complete guide for on my channel, you unlock the White Spring Bunker, where you can actually buy mutations there. I think they're like 2,000 caps or something. Buy the mutations you want. You can have multiple mutations on at a time, and then you throw on starched genes, and you will lock those mutations in place. So you can buy your mutations, which is much better than trying to randomly get them, and get the ones you need for your build, lock in starch genes. But in order to do something like that, you may need to shift your perk points around. So I think it's a very nice way to respec. Boom. So there you guys go. If you found this video helpful in any way, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more Fallout videos. Go check out my channel. I have over 50 Fallout videos between guides and funny moments. You should be able to spend hours and hours and hours of enjoyable Fallout 76 content right there. And if you haven't seen the tips and tricks one, go check that one out as well. Link is down in the description below. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for me here today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.